Hello and welcome to lesson 12 in my guitar techniques series. I've done loads of work on fingerstyle, finger picking. I thought I'd turn my attention to rhythm guitar playing today. So this is the first of I don't know how many lessons I'll do on rhythm playing, strumming. Some people, I guess, think of the strumming as the poor relation to lead playing or fingerstyle, but it really isn't. It's a real art form. It's what I did first for many years before I even turned my attention to finger picking or playing lead guitar on an electric guitar. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to show you some exercises help you build up a good rhythm guitar style. I must admit I have as much respect for somebody who can play rhythm guitar really well as I do somebody who can play lead guitar really well or was a really good finger picker. So what is rhythm guitar? Well, in the old days, back in the 60s, the classic band was rhythm guitar, lead guitar, bass guitar and drums, and the rhythm guitar was just simply to play the chords. That person would possibly be the singer, or they might have an extra singer, but it's setting down a strong foundation along with the bass and the drums for the song to build upon. One thing I would say before we get into this, if you're an electric guitarist, always watch the volume when you're playing rhythm guitar. If you're playing at home and you've got thrashing chords and your amp's turned up too loud, you're going to really annoy your family or your neighbours. And similarly, if you're playing in a band, you probably don't want to be as loud as you think you do. Generally speaking, a rhythm part for a song played on an electric guitar doesn't need to be that loud. So you need to go to my website, the address is on your screen now, and you need to go to the guitars and ukulele menu, and if you click on that and scroll down, you'll find acoustic and electric guitar. Click on that, scroll down, and you'll find the guitar technique section, and that's where you'll find the sheets that you can print out. They're on the right hand side, and you need to print out first of all exercise 20. So let's say you've got that printed out. It's on your table by the side of you as you're watching this video, and you'll see it says simple pop 4/4. So it's a simple pop rhythm, a rhythm for a pop song or a folk song. 4/4 simply means the time signature, counting in fours, and you would simply do this. And you think, well, that's pretty simple, I can do that, I don't need to be taught how to do that. Let's just have a little think about that before we move on to something more complicated. I'm holding down a 4-fingered C to do this so that I can play all 6 strings. If you're not sure how to do a 4-fingered C, this is how. First finger, first fret of the B, second finger, second fret of the D, third finger, third fret of the bass E string, and fourth finger, third fret of the A string. And you press and arch, you've got an open G string in that, and you've got an open high-pitched E string. I'm using a plectrum to play the strings. You could use your fingers. If you use your fingers, you go down with your fingernails, up with your thumbnail, and you tend not to play all the strings when you come up, just the first few treble strings, like that. If you're using a plectrum, hold it between the thumb and 2 fingers, not too tight, to get a bit of a crisper sound using a plectrum. So that's what I'm going to do. The simplest strum in the world, of course, is to just do 4 strums on the 4 main beats of the bar. Like that, but I can't really think that you'd ever do that. That's just too basic. So my exercise 20, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, and you can see the accents are on the 1, 2, 3, 4, on the 4 down strum. So accent means just play louder. So down, down, up, down, up, down. And you could try that on the chord sequence like C, A minor, F, G, like this. That's a perfectly good strum. Things to watch there, obviously the tempo, don't speed up, don't slow down, and just get a nice, clean, wholesome sound. You know, if it's sounding a bit lumpy, then it probably means that you're not watching your tempo, your speed, so be very careful with that. That's a very useful strum in 4/4. So it's exercise 20, just a simple pop strum, and try that on different chords in different keys, and that's a good starting point. Let's move on to our next exercise, exercise 21, simple pop strum number 2. And with this one, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to move from the bass to the treble strings, like this. Now you can hear that I'm doing the first down up on the bass strings, these 3 thickest strings nearest to me, okay, nearest to the ceiling. And then I'm doing a down up on the treble strings, the 3 nearest the floor, then a down up on the bass, then a down up on the treble. So I'm getting that kind of conversation between the bass and the treble strings. And you'll notice the accent is on beat 2 and beat 4. 1 and 2, 4, 2, 4. Obviously a downstroke is from the bass to the treble, and an upstroke is up the other way. Be careful on chords like A minor when you do the bass bit, because the bass E string, it is part of the chord, but it's best to kind of avoid that. When you do the down up on the bass strings, probably concentrate on the A and D strings more. Interesting F chord I'm doing there, just by the way. I'm holding down a 4-fingered F, first finger flat over 2 strings, 1st fret, second finger behind the 2nd fret of the G, 3rd finger behind the 3rd fret of the A, 4th finger behind the 3rd fret of the D, and my thumb is actually behind the 1st fret of the bass E strings. In that way I get a 6-string F, which of course is exactly the same as barring right across the 1st fret and doing an E major shape on top. It's just a more comfortable, kind of grabby way, rather than having to drop your wrist to get that bar chord. And of course if you can do the G the same as the F, just move it up 2 frets. You can go from F G in that way. So it's similar to exercise 20, but you've just got that bit of extra interest with the bass and the treble. So still 4 beats in the bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So that's a nice little exercise. Let's move on to exercise number 22. And in my career as a guitar teacher in school, this is probably the rhythm that I use more than any other. It's kind of a calypso rhythm, and this is how it sounds. And it is down, down, up, up, down. Now, we've got the accents on beat 1 and the and count of 2. And you'll notice the count of 3 is in brackets because nothing actually happens there. But what you'll do here is you'll do a constant down, up. If you watch my right hand as I play, it's moving constantly down and up, but I just make sure I strike the strings where I want to. In that pattern of downs and ups. So I've got down, down, up, up, down. You see, I'm really going just as I did in the first 2 exercises, but then I'm just missing. So you have that nice gap there, that nice hole in the rhythm, which is interesting. Like I say, a bit like a calypso rhythm. And you have 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. I mean, sometimes you'll do an extra up on the end. So you'll go 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and do that extra and, the extra upstroke, but I've just written it as down, down, up, up, down. And the accent is on down, up, down, up. I'm sure you've heard that rhythm many times before. It's a really good rhythm to use if you want to get away from that constant, solid down-up strum. Let's take that a stage further in our next exercise, which is exercise 23. Now we're going to do exactly the same strum, but with a slight difference. Now you can see an X marked on the 2 and the 4, the second and fourth beats of the bar. If you're a drummer, or if you've seen drums being played, you know the snare drum is normally played on beats 2 and 4 in a normal kind of pattern. And we're going to kind of get that snare drum effect on our guitar. Now, I'll just put my plectrum down for a moment, do it with my fingers. So what do? Well, on beat 2 I do a downstroke as normal, go through my fingers, but immediately shut the sound off with the back of my hands. It's kind of a scooping motion, and it's all in one. Now some people try and go through and then stop it like that, but it's one movement, through and shut. You kind of shut the door, you stop the sound as quickly as you can, and you get that kind of nice snap, percussive sound on beats 2 and 4. If you're using a plectrum, then you just go through the plectrum and shut the sound off with either the back of the hand, the heel of the hand, or the side of the hand. It's a little bit more subtle with the plectrum. It's not quite so sort of heavy-handed, so maybe a plectrum's better for this. Trying a different key, it's doing G. So I'll do G, E minor, C, D7. And it doesn't matter if you've got open strings in the chords, because the right hand shuts off all the strings, so you'll get that lovely, like I say, like a snare drum effect. And I'll be honest with you, I did this style for years and years and years, especially when I was a young lad. And when I first joined a band and I had a drummer to play along with, I found it quite hard not to do that, because I didn't need to do it anymore. I just needed to go. I didn't need to do that chopping sound. You really only need that if you don't have a drummer. And so I found it quite hard to stop doing that. I think I was 17, got in this band, and as I say, found it difficult to leave that out from my playing. So that's the end of this particular lesson on rhythm guitar. There's plenty more to come, so please do check out my next video. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please press the like button and subscribe as well. Press the bell icon and you'll get notifications every time I upload. Thank you very much for watching, and you'll see me in the next video.